There you go. Hey, Bonita.
Hey, how's it
Hey.
going? How's it going?
Hey, going good. How you been doing, honey?
Pretty good, trying to survive.
Wait, especially with everything going on, right?
Exactly, exactly.
I see a couple of more people jumping on. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing, sweetheart? All right, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into it, okay? All right, Bonita, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. All right, so with you being a model and all, and I know with the pandemic, it stopped a lot of events and everything,
Yeah.
including fashion shows and runway shows and everything. What is the one thing that you miss about the runway?
That's a great question. Actually, I miss the the family feel. I miss having the models. I've befriended several models because you start seeing the same faces and
Right.
being able to interact with them, see what they're doing, and then just being just happy to, just to be there again on the runway.
Hmm.
And we usually try to catch up. We usually sharing information. Most of the people that I've run across is very fluid with information, so we're used to comparing, did you go to this casting? Did you do this? Or have you heard about this? And so we're usually just sharing information, which is nice.
Right.
So I think I just really missed the family feel, being able to interact with other models, and I learned from them too.
Right. And what that's good that you guys keep each other in the loop because one person probably not have heard about the casting call
Yep.
and fill you in and just to get you in there too so you guys can
Yeah.
continue to work with each other to make that bond and also make that family. That is great
Exactly.
to hear. That's
Yeah,
great to hear that you guys
and the
are
thing is, I when I initially got into modeling, I just thought, that it was very competitive
right.
and cutthroat. But actually, I just had the opposite experience. I
Well,
guess I've
that's
been in the
good.
right place in the right time with the right, group of people. But I have had more of a positive experience with the models.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
And great, that's really great to hear. Now, with the modeling and everything behind stage, and you know that it's very hectic behind stage. What is and a lot of people bring in a lot of models bring in a lot of things throughout the shows and everything. What is the one thing that you cannot live without when it comes down to doing fashion shows behind the scenes?
Mm, well, I had two things in mind.
Okay, go ahead and
One
give them to
thing
me.
was my wipes because
Got to
but
stay
for
fresh.
a number of reasons, because I typically don't wear a lot of makeup, so I like to clean my face, and then also it can be used to touch yourself up here and there, and then you can pass it to those that need it. uh,
Right.
so the wipes are definitely something, and then also a cover, having a robe, because
Oh yeah.
you have children, sometimes young kids, you have it's mixed, it's co-ed, so we're running around changing in and out of clothes, so being able to have a cover is something that is a must have.
That's some good advice right there.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're waiting from one designer to another, it's best for you to be ready when that time comes. And
Right.
having a robe is pretty ideal to have
Right.
throughout the process behind the scenes. That's a
Right.
good one. Now, with you being a mature model, working behind the scenes with different age groups, what is its pros and cons behind the scenes?
Um, all right. So behind the scenes, and I'll start from the beginning where some of the applications require you to put your date of birth or age or something to that nature. And to
Mhm.
me, that's an instant, potential um, way for someone to discriminate you.
Mhm.
Because some of us, age gracefully, and then there's some that, doesn't. And so just having to put your age on there versus just looking at your body shape and how you walk and stuff like that. I just think sometimes we judge based upon what you see on the surface.
Right.
You know, so and that's something what we're dealing with today in today's time. Just surface level discrimination. But on the positive side, I say that I tend to be more nurturing and help others. And I think that's just because I'm mature and I tend to, you know, just try to take care, make sure everybody's happy, make sure
Right.
they have what they need. And going back to wipes, having, you know, being able to pass that wipe over to someone. And then also, many times I see parents right there with their young kids under 18, they're right there. And so they'll look at me and I end up having more conversations with the parents as well. So, so my network start to expand a bit more and, you know, and I can kind of talk to their kids, which is something that I like to do. And so it seems to me I'm able to give back while I'm waiting for getting on the runway, because I can talk to a young, a new model or model that has more experience than me, you know,
Right.
to learn from them, and which they kind of think is funny when I ask them, say, so tell me that, show me that turn, or show me how you walk. So I'm embracing my age and where I am in life, and I just think maturity and being on earth for a long period of time grants you some experiences. And then also from a business standpoint, you know, I'm always looking at the business side of the house. I'm looking at it from a designer standpoint. How can they get their products out there, and how can I represent them? So it is a business. And then the other part of it is, I would say, I understand human and organizational behavior.
Right.
And and what goes along with, you know, getting such a production together, understanding the moving parts, because I am a project manager. So a lot of that stuff is based upon maturity, and it works for me. It works for me.
That's good. And it sounds like it does. And I'm pretty sure they love to have people like you behind the scenes that's very nurturing, that's there, even when it's sometimes that people need some type of advice, or like you said, a new model that actually is nervous for the first time. And you like, girl, just calm down. Everything
Yeah.
will be okay.
Right.
And just give them those nurturing words, because you never
Exactly.
know who needs them.
Right. And vice versa, because sometimes, you know, I'm sitting back there, we're sitting sometimes for a number of hours. I know how to entertain myself. Usually times most of the time people have seen me with my laptop, I'll pull it out because I'll stay productive, or I read, versus, you know, just, you know, streaming and etc. And then I like to talk to people because, you know, I use that as an opportunity to learn, and also to just, you know, expand my network. And sometimes just opening my mouth have opened the doors for some other opportunities. So yeah.
Exactly. And when you build that connection, it's a lot of times behind the scenes when it comes down to modeling, sometimes that connect can get you to a bigger gig and bigger
Oh
money.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely the saying closed mouths don't get fed. That's a true saying.
Yeah. And, you know, just having a good attitude about it, because, you know, we're all there for the same reason.
Right.
And, you know, make the best of the hours that we're sitting back there. You know, make
Right.
it work for you.
Yeah, that's correct. All right. Now, with you having that modeling experience, and what can you say out to the people that actually is starting modeling, that's the models that's starting portfolios? What photos do you think that models need to have in their portfolios when building a portfolio? Portfolio.
A portfolio. Definitely a headshot. Something that is very plain, very natural.
Mhm.
And then also ranges of photos, the show characters that you can play, also like your personality, you know, doing some fun stuff, live, you know, serious stuff, just showing just a range of yourself. And
Mhm.
I wouldn't, I would say limited to like 10 photos until you definitely, you know, get your momentum. But sometimes just a really good 3 is good to start
Right.
off. So just having a really good headshot, having a range would be really good for a portfolio.
Okay. Good advice. Good. Now, with you having different hats that you wear, as far as off the runway and on the runway, and being a backstage mom, sound like. Now, what job, as a model, what job would you prefer to have? One, of the runway. Two, a photo shoot. Three, a fitness model. Four, commercial modeling. Which one of those four would you prefer?
For economic reasons, I would say, I would say more of the commercial fit model,
Mm-hmm.
because once you secure a opportunity as such, those are a little bit more lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
Runway, I love, 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 love the runway. However, not all the time you get paid for the runway, getting on the runway. The amount of hours that you spend at waiting for to get on the runway for just a few minutes, because 30 minutes is usually a show, but leading up to it is a lot of hours where you're just sitting, and not all the time you get paid unless you're with a designer that pays their models.
Right.
So for me, from at this point in my life, I would say I would prefer things that are paid, which is commercial fit type of modeling. That's my preference. So I'm striving for those type of things. So when I get them, I'm like really excited. Runway allows you to get exposure, which is what has helped me thus far. You know, I've been in modeling for 2 years now, so I'm fairly new, but a lot
Mhm.
of doors have
Really?
opened for me. Yeah.
Wouldn't have never noticed that.
Yeah, yeah,
Never
yeah. So
would have known
I
that.
call myself a late bloomer in modeling because I actually started March 2018. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So Runway gives you exposure because other designers, other sometimes agents are there, so that's where you get exposure. I see it as, you know, for me, it's a tiered approach for modeling for me. So
Mhm.
during Runway, doing, you know, I'm starting to do photo shoots. I wasn't doing a lot of photo shoots. Most of my photos, and it was a great question about portfolios. When I went to put my portfolio together to present to someone when I went to a camp, I I looked at my photos and I said, oh my goodness, all my photos are on the stage. Oh my goodness. And so I started jumping in front of the camera to work with some photographers so that I can have some really quality photos to give me some ranges. So I'm an introvert, so I prefer to be behind the scenes. And, you
Mhm.
know, I'll show up for my, you know, and perform, but being in front of the camera, just doing like a photo shoot, and I have to come up with a storyline in my head and perform
Mhm.
accordingly. That is challenging for me, and that's what I've been working on for myself in 2020. So I've been jumping in front of the camera a bit more this year so that I can continue to build and change up my portfolio.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
And you being in the modeling 2 years?
yeah.
2 years?
Two
That is
years.
like mind blowing. Like
Yeah.
seriously. Like I would have never noticed like behind the scenes with you being professional, with you having the most amazing walk. Like that is like really
Thank
like that's
you.
like
Thank
whew,
you.
that's
Thank you.
really nice to hear.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, I know that you are a vegan. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Correct.
Okay. Now, how is that being a vegan behind the scenes at fashion shows and you do you bring your own food?
I do. I do. I have a kit that I take with me. It's usually with my bags, and I usually pack it for all days because Not too often. Every once in a while, the coordinators or the people that is putting the shows together, they will ask, or a designer will ask me, do I have any allergies or any, preferences? Those are rare.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to bring my own because I don't want to be a burden to anyone, and I don't want to be that. I forgot the term that they use for some needy models. That
Mm-hmm.
a prima donna. I don't want to be that. So I try to be, a fly on the wall sometimes and try to be out of the way and have my own so that, one, I'm not hungry. And being vegan, most of the time, there's a lot of sugary things that's right there, things that are not plant based. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't eat it. And then I also have some allergies. So it's just best for me to usually bring my own. But if I do see like a vegetable tray or I see like a fruit tray, I'm having a good old time because I can eat, what's there. But most of the time I bring my own stuff just in case.
Okay. That's good because I know there are some other vegan models out there, and they definitely would love to hear that and to get that advice. And they probably put that in their pocket, like, okay, now I can bring my little snacks. That's a
Right.
good idea. Because me personally, I'm going vegan, slowly going vegan.
Good.
So I took that information in myself as well. So thank you for that information. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Yeah. It's really, it's good to, just think about your day, how, if you did not depend on the producers or the designers to produce, the food, you're going out away from the facility to go find
Mhm.
some food. And so sometimes you miss announcements, sometimes you miss, opportunities. Designers may come in, one of the models may be a no-show or something to that nature, but being there in place and you have your stuff with you, you are there just in case they can, pull you. And that has happened to me many of time being there,
Mhm.
because I was a self-contained entity able
Mhm.
to, just be around and be accessible. So I had my stuff with me and I did not starve. And you're there for so long, you have to get some food in you, or you're not gonna be good on Runway.
Yeah, we don't need nobody having like any episodes passing out behind stage with
Exactly.
lack of nourishment.
Yeah, and then also your attitude change. I know there's a commercial. I won't say the entity's name, but they'll say, "Oh, you're not like yourself. Do you need this? This candy bar?" And so it's because you're hungry. You're a different person.
Right.
So to be the person that you represented during the castings, make sure you have your food with you or your own stuff.
Well, that's a good idea. Now, with you being a beautiful bald model, what are its pros and cons with you having hair and not having hair as a model?
Um, I don't have to go to the um, hair technicians to do my
Mhm.
hair. Um, and so that's a positive because I can skip that part. They can start focusing on my makeup, and I can do my
Mhm.
fittings. And so I'm usually sitting a little bit longer because those that have hair, they are getting their hair done, then their makeup, or vice versa. So
Mhm.
I appreciate those producers that have taken time to realize that I could probably come in when guys come in
Mhm.
because you don't have to do my hair. I'm already taken care of from that standpoint. So um, the the con is the duration that I'm there. If a producer does not recognize that, I don't have to go through the hair process.
Right.
And then the other part is sometimes designers have a view of what they're looking for to represent their brand on the runway.
Mhm.
And being natural in a sense, or being more ethnic looking, those things sometimes have played a negative approach because I've had a designer say, no, I want someone with hair that's flowing. They have that vision for their clothing to flow a certain way and their hair to flow a certain way. So
Right.
I could throw on a wig. I usually carry a wig, but they don't ask me if I have a wig. And so I usually either say, do you want me to bring a wig? Do you need me to have a wig? Because I'm transferable. I'm adaptable. And I'm a chameleon, so I can definitely change to whatever. So some people have seen me as cosplay. I've played like a Storm, like the X-Men Storm, to being, you know, someone in jogging clothes and jumping around. So I can go
Mhm.
from one end of the spectrum to another, as well as be polished and poised to carry a gown down the runway.
Hmm.
hmm So there's, you know, there's pluses and minuses when it comes to being a bald model. But most of the time, the designers have said, no, I love your look. And those that selected me. But then there's some that I'm like, oh, I would love to be able to walk for them, but they have certain looks that they're looking for, which I
Right.
understand.
Well, that's good that you make sure that you keep a wig just in case a model is going for a specific look,
Mm-hmm.
because the bald look is a very bold look and it's a very unique look, and it's very beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is to a lot of designers as well. But when
Mm-hmm.
a designer is looking for a specific look, then hey, sometimes hey,
Right.
all you have to do is okay, clap on that wig. Okay, like what about this look?
Right. Yeah, because actually, I was at a show last year around Mother's Day, and um, the designer selected me just from my appearance as is, and I said, "Ooh!" When I saw her outfit, I said, "Ooh!" I ran to my, you know, I went to my bag and I pulled out two wigs and I put them on with the outfit. And I said, "Which one do you like? Do you like this?" And then I snatched the wig up. "Do you like this?" And so they was like, "Oh, do that wig." And so that's where, you know, it allowed them to have that vision, because I was in their attire so that they can see what it looks like with hair. And I can always, you know, pull off wigs. So
Right.
it, it has its pluses and minuses. I've learned to adapt because I've been bald for a long time, and that's by choice.
Well, hey, it looks beautiful on you. I love
Thank
the
you.
look. Me
Thank you.
personally, I'm kind of scared to do it, but it is gorgeous on you, honey.
Oh, thank you. And the one thing I would tell you, even just looking at you, it's like you have a beautiful, welcoming face, and that's something
Thank you.
that I admire. And when you say that, I'm like, no, you're having your hair wrapped. You're pretty much looking like if you were bald, we would see your face. You will be this way. That's the way you look. So when you pull your hair in ponytails, just imagine yourself being bald. If you like what you see, you can pull a bald, you know, a bald look. Now the key is what your head looks like. You know?
That's the part I'm scared of. That's the part I'm scared of. I don't know what it looked like up under there.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's the part I'm
that's
scared of.
the risk there. You just have to know what your head looks like. I didn't know when I cut my hair off, so I was hoping for the best when I did it.
Well, I'm glad it worked out good for you. All right, so now let's get into the we want to know questions. Exciting! All right. The first one, who are the top three people you are inspired by?
My dad, he's been an inspiration to me because he's done things that is trend setting.
Hmm.
He played professional ball when there was not a lot of minorities in the professional baseball time. So,
Hey.
yeah, so the being different and pushing forward and being successful in it, that was inspiring to me, and the way he carried himself. The next person I would say is Michelle Obama, because she was just graceful. All the swords and knives and everything that was thrown at her, she prevailed and rose up, and that charisma and class. You know, I strive to be that graceful. And then the other one is Harriet Tubman, because what she did and being so courageous, and then going back, jeopardizing herself to bring others to, you know, to freedom, that to me resonate to my mantra that came to me when I was a kid, which was to help people help themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
I tend to try to help people, and I tend to see the best in people and then drive and push them to be better versions of themselves, or to
Mm-hmm.
give them that the feedback that they need to be wonderful.
Right.
So her strength and her courageousness and her selflessness to go back and put herself at risk, that those three individuals, my dad, Michelle Obama, and Harriet Tubman, those are my top three.
Three amazing choices, honey.
Yeah,
Amazing. I love them all.
yeah.
All
Thank
right. Now, what is your guilty pleasure? I can't
you.
wait.
All right. So I have two big old closets full of clothes and shoes. So I tend to do a lot of quality shopping, because the things that I have has been with me sometimes for decades, and so they're timeless. And so I like quality clothes and shoes, and I
Mhm.
have a lot of it. And so, so that's my thing. I'm always looking for things that are unique. So I totally love working with designers that have this unique eye. So I have a lot of stuff from the designers as now as a model, because there's some things that you would not see in the store, but you see it
Right?
on the runway, and I'm like, I want that. I don't want to take this off. Can I have it? You know, so and it's also, you know, giving back. So clothes and shoes for me is my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of women can relate to you on that one. A lot of women can relate.
I've been like, how can I redo my closet? And so now I change out seasons because I have so much, and it cannot fit in the closets that I have. So I have to be creative.
All right. So, what is your favorite quote?
Something that I use, which is, I am who I am.
That's good.
Yeah.
Take what
It,
you got. Ain't nothing gonna change about it. This is what
yep.
it is.
It is what it is.
Hey,
Exactly.
that's
So
pretty
I
good. I
am
like that
who
one.
I am. Yeah.
All right. So, what is one word that describes Bonita best?
Uh, Resilient.
Nice.
Yeah, I've bounced back from a lot of things in life,
Mhm.
and being able to push forward and still smile and not be angry or resentful or spiteful. I would say resilient.
Nice. Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all the we want to know questions, but we do have one more.
Uh-oh.
Now, Kimberly Smith would like to ask you a question. She would like to ask you, how did you book big gigs without being signed to a modeling agency?
That's a wonderful question. I hustle when I'm not on the runway or at a casting, and even when I'm out at those things. I use that time to look for opportunities. I've joined several different um, groups, like on Facebook.
Hmm.
And also I'm looking on Instagram. There's a lot of opportunities that are posted on Instagram. So um, I tend to apply for those things. And then also there is a site called, oh boy, um, if I can type it back on your page, I'll give you the exact website that I go to. But there
Hmm.
are some producers, designers, photographers, and even production companies who have posted their opportunities and made it available. And so you just apply, you submit, you become your own agent and you represent yourself. And so you put your package in, you pay attention to what they're asking for and apply,
Mm-hmm.
and then follow up. You sometimes get yeses. Other times I've applied to things and they'll say, oh, I like you for something else. Because that's what happened to me. I applied for an opportunity for a commercial,
Mm-hmm.
and I end up getting another opportunity because they liked my look, and I end up
Mm-hmm.
getting booked for David Makes Man that was aired on the Oprah Winfrey Network. So I end up being a background extra.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. A background extra, and then I got bumped to become a stand-in for one of the actresses. So I was like,
Yes.
oh. So I was really, really excited about that. So I would say Facebook, Instagram, a lot of these social networks have things that are posted. Do some keyword searches. And
Mm-hmm.
then also I'll circle back because, Backstage, that's the name of it. Backstage. If you go to backstage.com, you can go there and there's a lot of postings. You can put it based upon the whole United States or
Mm-hmm.
international or for your local area. And that's how I found a lot of opportunities.
Nice.
Yeah.
If Kimberly is watching, honey, I hope you was taking notes. And anybody else that was watching that actually has that same question, I'm sure that was some great information.
Yeah.
Hey, that was some really good information for me too, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Well,
Thank you.
well, Bonita, can you let us know what you have coming up and also where they can find you just in case anybody want to book you for any gigs or any modeling?
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram. I am Bo Know a Lot, which is BOKNOWALOT. And then on Facebook, I am Bo Best, like the best, BEST. And also, what is the other part of it? So they can find me there. And what else?
And what do you have coming up?
I have several of the opportunities that like fashion shows have been postponed to August and October. So I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see if we're able to actually have the shows or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm just mostly focused on my portfolio. So I've been working with some photographers locally so that I can try to build up my portfolio and be ready for when the U.S. and the world opens back up after, the COVID-19. When things
Right.
get back to whatever that new norm is, I will be
Mm-hmm.
ready. And also starting, to get back into working out a bit more because I want to make sure since we're going into summer, there may be opportunities for more outdoor. People may be creative and come up with some shows where bathing suits or things that are a little bit more fitted. I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready and I don't have my quarantine bod. My comp card is consistent to what I look like now. So
Right.
updating my comp cards with some new images and stuff. So those are the things that I'm doing now to gear up for the when the US opens back up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, did you just have a birthday that just passed?
No, my birthday is coming up.
Your birthday is coming up.
Yeah. My
'Cause
birthday
I
is in
think I saw you
September.
saw a post that you was saying something about your birthday. So happy early birthday. I thought it
Thank you.
passed. I thought it was
Oh
late.
yeah, yeah. I was talking about yeah, because my birthday is coming up in September. I'll be 51. So I am, I am truly embracing it, my journey. I'm just grateful to be here. You never really think about how old you're gonna be on Earth. And
Right.
so when I was 49 leading into 50, I was like, people was like, you're gonna have a big shebang? And I was like, no. And then as I was seeing like my classmates having these huge celebrations and everything. I said, oh, I am a half a century. Oh my God. I
Talking
should
about aging
celebrate.
gracefully, honey.
But thank you. Thank you.
You
Yeah.
are literally like a 50-year-old gold to me. Like I
Oh,
hope
thank
that I
you.
am as beautiful as you when
Thank
I'm
you.
50.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank
My
you.
pleasure, honey, because you are gorgeous, and
Thank
I
you.
definitely, hopefully, I get those good genes too.
You do, you do, you do. Yeah, but this was great. Thank you for the opportunity. And, you know, I wish you all the best with the Fashion
Thank you,
Roundtable.
honey. It was
This
our
is
pleasure
great.
to have you here. It
Yeah,
was our pleasure. All
yeah.
right, you guys, that was Bonita Best.
Thank you. And
Extravagant
contact
model, you
me if you
guys.
have questions. I am very open to sharing information.
See, she's also a modeling mom, you guys. Thank you so much, Bonita.
Alrighty. Have a good
Bye,
one.
you
Good
guys.
night. Be safe. Take care. Bye.
Bye.